Hey guys, so today I am doing another story time video. I asked you guys on Twitter which video you wanted to see first out of these story times because I made a list of some things that I wanted to talk about, and I just gave you guys like numbers, and number 3 won by like a landslide. Like I don't know what's with the number 3, but you guys, a lot of you guys chose 3. The one that you guys voted for is the story about the time that I got caught skipping class. Let me do a little backstory. Okay, specifically sophomore year, I wasn't the best student. I didn't go to school a lot. I skipped class all the time, and there was like a lot of reasoning behind why I did what I did. I mean, I've briefly like talked about how sophomore year was like my worst year of high school and how much I hated it, and a lot of it has to do with this myself and my decisions, things that I did, and one of them was I skipped a lot of class. But the thing is, how I got caught is so funny, and to this day makes me so mad that I wasn't more like quick-witted and I didn't think of this before. Like, I didn't have a lot of friends in my classes, so I was always like that kid in class that was really quiet. I had people like saying like things like, oh, we need to put a muzzle on Paige because she talks too much, because I didn't even like ever talk, just because that was like the year that I became really shy and very like introverted. Because like freshman year I was completely different. I was friends with everybody that was in my class, but I don't know, I just, something kind of switched in me. A class that I really dreaded going to besides history class, because my teacher was just was math. I didn't learn anything that year. I kid you not, I had the worst teacher. I had to go to summer school for math class, and I remember one of the summer school teachers was a teacher at my school, and he was like, Paige, what are you doing here? And I was like, I'm here for math. He's like, well, who did you have? And I told him. He goes, oh, okay. Makes a lot of sense. So it had to do with a lot of like the teaching and like how the teacher didn't teach, and the kids were just, everybody was crazy in my class. Took advantage of the teacher, had no discipline, just had no, like we did nothing. I don't remember anything from that class because we legitimately did nothing. It was my last period of the day, was my math class, and I was like, I am not going. Like, I do not want to go. I just want to go home. So I probably skipped with some of my friends. I don't know, but this was like not my first time skipping. Another day in my life. So we had 3 principals, and each principal had like a group of kids that they advised, and I don't want to say her name, but honestly, I could just say that we used to call her the Tuminator. So the next day, I was in my class. It was first period. She comes in the class, and I'm like, oh God, having a panic attack, because this has happened before. When I get questions like, you were marked absent for this class, I'll just say, oh, I came in late, and they don't even question it. So that's happened before with her, and I just was like, oh, sorry, like I was late to class and he already took attendance, so I was marked absent. She comes and she pulls me out of class, and she's like, so I see that you were marked absent for math class the other day. And I was like, yeah, I came into class late. I actually skipped. I was like, he must have marked me absent. And she was like, you had a substitute. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm sorry, like I forgot. And she's like, was it a girl or a guy? And I was just like, it was a guy. And she was like, no, it was a girl. And I was like, help me. Now thinking back on it, she probably was just messing with me. I don't know if I had a substitute. Like I said, I didn't know anybody in that class, so I couldn't have been like, did we have a substitute? It could have been a substitute, it could have been a guy, but she was just messing with me to like get me to confess. I think she just used like reverse psychology type thing to get me and just to trick me into confessing. Why I said it makes me mad to this day was because I wish that I had been like, no, it was definitely a guy, or it was, oh yeah, that was like, I had a guy. And I remember that day I had a substitute for my history class, and it was a guy, so I could have been like, oh sorry, I got confused with my history substitute teacher. She's like, since this is your first time, you're just going to have a Saturday detention. Normally like people would get in-school suspensions, which when you think about it doesn't make sense, because you're skipping class just to get suspended to not be in class. You'd be in a room. You wouldn't have like out of school suspension, you'd have in-school suspension in this room where you would get your work brought to you. Like, what's the point of that? After that, I was like sick to my stomach all day. Like, are you kidding me? Like, did this really just happen? And I remember thinking in my head, like, I could have easily just gotten out of that if I just was quicker thinking, like, on my feet. My junior year, I probably did skip a bit, but I know my senior year, I did not skip at all. I never skipped a period. So honestly, I never skipped a period freshman year. It was all basically sophomore year because that was the worst year of my life. I think if I can go back and redo that and like my choices, it honestly wouldn't be me wishing that I came up with a better excuse. It would honestly be me choosing not to skip class. I did a lot of things in high school that I wish I didn't do. So yep, I got a Saturday detention and I felt really awkward being there. Like, I'm sure people were like, why is she here? The girl who doesn't even talk, like, what did she do to get a Saturday detention? Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Hope that you guys enjoyed this video. You found it a little bit funny. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you guys around. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers. I've been saying this at the end of a lot of my videos, but it's because I'm just, like, it's crazy. Almost 5,000. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.
You tried to break me down like I would hit the ground. Don't hear the hate, don't care about it. Yeah, you just don't mean enough to really mess me up. And if you try, I'm gonna shout it. Yeah, but even if the stars are overload, I never want you back.
The Terminator, she terminated me that day. I wanted to film all of the story times on the same day. I probably might just change my shirt so it doesn't look like I wear the same shirt all the time, even though like I'm obsessed with this shirt, but I don't wear it like all the time.